Well, hello everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the meeting of the Masterminds. This is something that me and the guy on the other side of the screen have been planning for several years since we worked together in Banff National Park. Um, Condi, how's it going? How about you introduce yourself? I know a lot of people do know who you are, but let's get a little more info on you.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name's Condi, and I'm living in Whistler, British Columbia right now. Devin and I, yeah, we met living in Banff. I'm kind of a nomadic traveler. I've been traveling for 6 years in Canada, from Ontario originally, to BC and Alberta for quite some, mostly into sports, paragliding, snowboarding, and recently downhill mountain bike. And I don't know, just kind of,
Your mic's cutting out a little bit there, Condi. Oh, your mic's cut out, bro.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it looked like you may have been saying something there. Basically, what we're gonna try to do here, what we've been planning for the next little bit. Today's gonna be kind of more open face. We didn't have the strictest set of guidelines when it came to this one. We decided that we were gonna discuss something that we feel like pretty much everybody can relate to, and it's music. And with like a new school mentality versus an old school mentality, both of us have very um, great taste in music, I would say. Um, very different style of music. And I think we've kind of opened each other's eyes up a little bit, one way or the other, on different styles that the other should look into and consider getting behind. So, what we really thought we would do here is kind of just table it on something that's not going to be too argumentative. We definitely will probably get into arguments at some point later on down the line, but for today, we figured we'd pick a fair topic, an easy topic, something we can cover in a relatively short period of time, and really discuss. We can dive in on. So, we got YouTube open here, and we're gonna kind of go through different artists and why we feel like they meet certain characteristics when it comes to what we would consider. Um, I don't want to say the best. I would say great and high caliber musicians for whatever reason. And you're gonna see we have a wide range of reasons why we may find artists would be there. So don't take this as we're saying that they're the best. There's no one else that matters or that is good. This is just again two guys' opinions, two different time frames, looking at what we think about certain situations. So without further ado, I guess we're gonna I'm gonna start off with Condi here. I'm gonna get Condi to explain his main stake when it comes to what he listens to on a regular basis when it comes to music, and kind of get his mindset on where his frame of mind is going into this conversation. I'll do the same after him, and then I'll actually allow Condi to pick the first artist that we'll discuss. So we'll start off with that.
Yeah, there's kind of 5 points that Devin and I thought would to kind of through. It's kind of a good criteria to judge. Otherwise, it's very opinionated criteria. So, um, 1 through 5, 5 things that we're kind of judging who we. The first one we just start off with the lyrics, the words, many, how he uses lyrics. The second would be the studio sound, creative, just that clean cut sound. The third would be the actual public image, or how memorable the band or the individual was or is. Fourth would be originality, how much originality. Fifth criteria is there actual live out. So those are the 5 things. And I have a kind of a list, some of the top bands that I've heard, older me. Focusing mine. I'm usually into this mostly classic. So we're looking at bands like Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Beatles, The Who, The Doors, Void, DC, Aerosmith, Queen, Guns N' Roses, and we're
Okay, yeah. So kind of kicking off where Connie is leaving off. I I would definitely represent the newer age of music when it comes to that. I feel like music is intrinsic for just about everybody. I feel like everybody loves the sound of music. It doesn't matter who you are, in some way, shape, or form. There's some form of music that you like. For me, I'm an amalgamation of so many different types of music. So personally, while I'll say my main genre would be like currently it would be like an electronic sound, something like drum and bass or EDM. If you were to say, I also really have strong foundations in rap and trap music, being where I really spent a lot of my life as a child was like hip hop R&B. So I represent probably almost the polar opposite side of that with some indie rock and some classic rock that I would listen to, but I really would say that we're coming from this at two completely opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to where we are. We are like I would say we're almost like polar opposites. Um, but it's great because I feel like we're gonna have a really good way to engage in it, and being that Connie named some artists, some people who I would say are I'm gonna do three or four of each. Some bands like Loud Luxury, Skrillex, and Marshmello would be like huge influences on the EDM side of things. Martin Garrix would also go there. And then people, Drake is my favorite artist of all time. Um, Again, personal preference, but so like Drake, Kanye West, Travis Scott, and like Kid Cudi would be kind of on the hip hop side of things. And there's obviously more that I would get into, but those would kind of be like I feel like the most solid answer in saying that this is the sound that I really that I find aesthetically pleasing. That's where my brain is pushed toward. So I'll let you pick the first artist there, Condi.
older sort of thing, or
You can do new school if you want to go back and forth. We could pick artists from new school, and you could get me to give you your opinion on them, and I could pick old people, or we could start off by doing like three or four each to kind of give our rationale behind.
that's a good point. Maybe I will stick for each of sort of our own preference, and then maybe I'll pick out a few new for you to talk. Pick out a few old. So three that I would like to talk out. Let me start out with Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin is one of my favorite bands. Something about just their sound in general. You want to scream in excitement, constant catch. Led Zeppelin, their lyrics are incredibly thought out. They've got very powerful, deep, and they're often transcoded for meaning. And you have to really kind of study their lyrics. You look it up, look into it, and understand a lot of it. So for me, the lyrics is one of their strong suits. Things that really is the action. A lot of the music I listen to, for the most part, lyrics is a big thing for me. It's lyrics that I don't agree. It doesn't matter how great this. It's not something that I listen to it. There are certain cases I do listen to an artist purely for the sound. But the lyrics mean nothing for the most part. For that is they really stick out. And their studio sound, geez, Led Zeppelin, absolutely incredible. Now, when you look back the time era, especially the early '70s, late era, that the studio equipment actually wasn't from the '50s to the '70s. Really, studios were really starting. So they had a lot of bare bones equipment, but they were able to make use of all the and then especially recently over the last they've all been remastered studios. So many of these old bands have that remaster. If anybody doesn't actually know what a remaster is when you take the old kind of music composition from the original, the original raw. You can actually tamper with you can actually highlight certain tones, instruments, really pop things. And a lot of remasters. Now, Public Image, Led Zeppelin just absolutely had an amazing, but it was mostly with the young. In the '70s, you didn't have a lot of you listening. I mean, these days that's basically you get a huge follower. But back in the day, it was all people that were young, youthful, and especially people that wanted to rebel. Rock and roll back in those days, especially, had a really great. I guess with the older folk, it sounded like back in the day, the older folk really did not like rock and roll. Coming the '50s, going into the '60s, you had these older bands. You had the Beatles Beatles really trained. Oh, yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing I could have. I'll throw those on. We'll see if it.
Thank you. Oh, what phone? Oh, we're just waiting on Condi to come back here, y'all. While we do this, let's play some the best of Led Zeppelin. So, oh, I was actually going to talk about um, one of my favorite artists, Avicii, actually. So, again, tackling it from a standpoint of what we were talking about, specific points, lyrics. Avicii doesn't necessarily write his own lyrics, but in my opinion, while I understand Condi's point about loving lyricism, and I respect lyricism myself, to me, as important as lyrics are, the beat of a song is that much more, um, that much more important, just in my opinion. I feel like when you're dancing, um, or moving, which to me is the important part for music, in my opinion. Again, a lot of people believe message, and I agree with all those things. But when we're strictly speaking from a more modern perspective, I believe the the beat is the most important part, and that's why you see so many different artists sample and remix rather than create something out of nothing, or attempt to create new sound. Now, so again, lyrics in some of his songs, it's the simplicity of how he uses the lyrics and the artists he works with that want to perform that I feel like deliver the message a little bit more. Sound, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Avicii was the most technical, um, was one of the most technical DJs and produced some of the most amazing music and dance hall anthems of this generation for sure. There's very few people who have not heard "Wake Me Up" by Avicii or "Levels" by Avicii. So it's so inept. You can hear it, and you're like, oh, sometimes, and it's without even thinking. It's just there. Um, Public Image, Avicii. Yeah, he's not there. He's not there, honey. He's coming back. Public Image of Avicii was he was widely loved, widely respected, but very troubled. He obviously is a member of the 27 Club. Died way too young. um, and I would say he's definitely memorable. There's not a bar you would go to, or a hockey game or something that you wouldn't hear an Avicii song at performed. His live performances were to die for. People spent thousands of dollars to see him at music festivals where he was the headliner. Um, and originality, I don't think that anybody would argue that Avicii had a very distinct, original, and unique sound that he captured. That's okay, buddy. We completely understand that. I think I've hit kind of the topics for Avicii. Yeah, I guess I'll just do another one. uh, um, so, I can't have a discussion about music and not talk about my favorite artist of all time, which is King Slime Drizzy Drake. Um, when it comes to lyricism, I don't think that there's an artist on the planet right now that has more quotable lyrics than Drake. Um, you could be in a room anywhere in North America for sure, and say a line from a Drake song, and someone's gonna spit out the rest of it. Um, well, hey, Sin, he's got other things that he's gonna get into and allude to as well. And I'm just spitting my side of things. Um, if I go further, the sound again, very unique sound. Uh, we're gonna talk about other famous people from that time frame too, Sin. So don't worry about it. Sound is very unique. He created his own sound. He paved way for Toronto to be brought out too, and has done a lot for the Canadian music scene in and of itself. His public image. I think Drake is viewed as being a very like posh and safe, I would say, is like the word. I feel like he's as popular as he is because he hasn't committed any crimes, and he has the he has the image of being like the, the typical everyman, but at the same time he can kind of play this kind of badass role where he can pretend to be kind of, you know, he's credible enough because of his status that when he talks about holding a gun, it's believable. Um, Definitely don't know about memorability. Can't speak to that one right now because he's still current. Live, I would say that he's not going to be a Celine Dion or the number one pick. That's that's for sure. But it's not anything to joke over, and he has won awards for stage presence, um, originality. Oh, hey, how's it going, Condi? You're back. Perfect.
Mhm.
We got you back.
Can you hear
Originality.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you 100%, buddy.
Let me get my headphones on.
Yeah.
Hello, how is that sounding?
Much better. So much better.
Perfect. All
So
right.
much better. Okay. So I'm just gonna go back over kind of what I said. So I did. You did Zeppelin. I was gonna play Zeppelin, but then you made the point that I should go. The first artist I picked was Avicii. Um, Avicii is an electronic DJ. One of the first that kind of pioneered a sound. I know you know an Avicii. You got to know at least one Avicii song. So with lyrics isn't really gonna be there. That's not necessarily him doing it. He did work with a lot of artists that had, and he had a very particular set of people that he would work with. So like, while he was a DJ, he wasn't just doing work with everybody. Um,
Mm.
he was very particular. And coming to the second note, sound. There were people that worked with Avicii that highlighted that his. If you're looking at the,
Sorry.
yeah, um, uh, the way that he went about making music, like the hours that he would spend to make one note. Oh, your phone flipped, I think, bro. Your phone flipped. Uh oh. Uh oh. Oof. Oof. I think Condi DC'd, guys. Ah. All right. Well, that was two times. I think we're gonna call her for the night. I think we're gonna call her for the night. It's not. I think we should call it for the night. I think we should start again tomorrow, Condi, and plan this and do another one on Friday. So it's Tuesday. Everybody, just want to let you guys know that this will be a thing. Um, Today was just we had everything working against us, so we're gonna aim to have this done on Friday. Um, we're gonna regroup. We'll do a new one on Friday. Same bat time, same bat place. Thank you.